Hi there, welcome back to thinktankonline learning. In this video I'm going to show you how to draw a plumber block in assembly drawing. Okay, so first of all, before we draw, you have to know what a plumber block looks like, an assembled plumber block. Okay, so I'm going to show you the picture of an assembled plumber block. So this is the picture of an assembled plumber block. As you can see, you're going to see the cap, we have the body, and all we have these nuts and bearings. Okay, so before we start to draw, you have to make sure that your pencils are very sharp. Okay, so the secret of drawing is just sharpening your pencil, and make sure that your canvas is tight. Make sure that you have a 45-degree set square, you have a 30-degree set square, and you have a ruler plus a clean rubber. Okay, so in this case I'm using 4H for construction lines and HB for outlines. Okay, so if you look at the question, what does the question requires us to do? Okay, we're going to use the scale 1:1, so we're not going to double or reduce these measurements. We're going to use them as they are. Then I want to draw the front right half in section. Okay, so that means I want to draw a front view. Then after that, we're going to just section the right half, and in our case it is already been sectioned, so it's going to be good for us. Okay, and after that we're going to draw the top view. It's just the top view, we're not sectioning anything. Okay, so what we're going to do here, you have to be familiar with isometric drawing. You also have to be familiar with the geometric drawing and orthographic projection. Okay, because if you don't know this, but if you don't know what this is, I have a video where I change this information from orthographic to isometric. I've already drawn this. You can just go to ThinkTank and type plumber block in isometric drawing. Okay, you're going to see what this looks like. And also you have a video where I draw a bush bearing in isometric. Just go to YouTube, bush bearing in isometric drawing by thinktankonline learning. You're going to see them. Okay, so now we're starting. So normally the question with many marks is the front view right half in section. So I'm going to start with the question that have more marks. Okay, so we're going to start with the right view right half in section. Okay, so what I want to draw, what I want to do, this is our body. Okay, so how to assemble them, I'm going to explain how I can assemble them. So this is our body. Okay, and you know, because I know this in real life, I know there's going to be a bush bearing here which has a radius of 25, and that bush bearing is right here. And as you can see, the bush bearing is a diameter of 50, so that means the radius is going to be 25. Okay, so my bush bearing is going right here, and after that I'm going to put this cap on top here. Okay, I'm going to put this cap. As you can see, the radius of the inner circle of the cap is 25, and this is going to make a circle with this radius. And after that I'm going to put my nuts here. Okay, we have a bolt and nut. It looks like, okay, so that bolt and nut, it almost looks like this one. Okay, but the difference is that we don't have threads here. So this one you have threads here, but it's just the same. Okay, so now let us draw our front view. And in assembly drawing, if I'm starting with the front view, that means I want to draw my things in first angle projection, but I just want to first start to draw things that is on top. Okay, so in this case it's the front view, so I'm going to put it on top, and that is the first angle projection. So let me draw my reference line. So this is my reference line. Okay, now what is the total length of our diagram? Okay, so for the front view, I'm going to draw this, and I'm going to put the bearing. After that I'm going to put the cap. What is the total height? Okay, so for the total height, we have, what do we have? Okay, from here to this end we're already given, and we're like it's 250. Okay, so let me just allocate. Okay, or let me just measure 250, starting from here, and here. Okay, like this. And after that, I'm going to take my set square. Doesn't matter, take a 30 or a 45 degree, and I'm going to just mark the boundaries of my drawings. Okay, like this one. Now what else? We have to allocate the center or the midpoint of these 2 points. So if you say 250 divided by 2, I'm sure that is going to give us 125. 125 is right here. So this is going to be our center. It's going to be very useful. Okay, now what? Okay, first want to start with things that are easy. Okay, so we're going to measure a height of 20 and also a height of 15 right here. So we're just going to measure them at once, and also have a height of 70. Okay, so let's start with the 20. 20 is right here, and we have 15. 15 is right here, and we have 70. So we're going to measure 70 from here. Okay, after that, going to use our T-square. Okay. Okay, and what do we want to do? So now, from this center point, to here, we have a distance of 100 from this end to that end. So we're going to measure 50 from each end, 50 right here, and 50 right here. Okay, and after doing that, we're going to project these lines. But remember, we're going to need these lines when we are going to draw a plan. So that means let's just project them vertically, below and above. Okay, now what? So want to determine. Okay, so from the top, we're going to measure a distance of 18 from here to here. Okay, this is the line we've measured 70, so we're going to measure 18. And after that, we're going to use our T-square and project it horizontally. Now what? Okay, so from our center, from here to here, what is the distance? Okay, so I want to determine the distance from here to here. So this is the radius. What is the radius of this circle? And that radius is 30. So I'm going to measure 30 from here to here, and from here to here. And we're going to need these lines, so we just going. Okay, fine. Bed. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I think it's better to outline where we have drawn so that you can understand. So the other thing is that this is a square, these two boxes, this is a square. That means the square has sides which are 30 centimeters. So I'm going to measure 15 from here and 15 from here, and I'm going to do that on the point which we have measured. So 15 from here and from here. I'm also going to do the same, 15 here, 15 here. Okay, I want to draw this. Okay, so there's no need to project this vertically. Okay, now what, let me take my outline pencil. I'm going to outline here. Okay, and I'm going to line from here to here, from here to here. Okay, like this. Okay, then we have to draw a curve which is a radius of 5, which is going to join this point, this line and this line, right? So open a canvas with a radius of 5. And I'm going to, okay, so I'm just going to strike an arc here, strike an arc here. Okay, so let me just use the simple methods. So the simple method just construct a square that is dimensions, which is sides 5 by 5. Okay, like this. I'm going to need that square right here again, and you have to measure 5 here. Okay, and now what I want to do, stand at this point, just going to join like this. We're going to do the same here. I think that is the shortest method. Okay, and now what we're going to do, let's join what we have drawn. Okay, and we're going to project these lines. Like this, and from this point, remember, this is where some of our nuts are going to get, right, which are going to hold this body. So we have to draw holes and you are given that what is the okay. So now we have to measure a distance of 20 from this end. Let's start by measuring a distance of 20 from this end right here, and do the same here. Okay, after doing that, you need to project downward and project it downward. Okay, so now what is the radius of this circle? So the radius of this circle, we are given the diameter, and the diameter is 15. So I'm going to say 15 divided by 2, that is going to give us 7,5. So that means 7,5 here. Going to do the same. 7,5 here. And after that, we're going to draw these lines. Okay, like this one. Okay, let me just check my measurements here. Okay, so 7,5 is somewhere here and somewhere here. So this was 7,5, and I think you can outline here, since we're sectioning this white half, but I'm just going to keep it in hidden detail. I'm not going to section here, so it's going to be inside. That's why I'm drawing it in hidden details. And you have to draw the center lines. So these are the center lines. Okay, now what? Okay, we have to, so this is going to be our M18 nut. Okay, so the radius from here, which is going to fit an M18 nut, is 9. So I want to measure 9 from this point and this point. Okay, and from here to here. And I'm going to project these lines upwards. This one upwards. This one upwards. And this one also upwards. and we can now outline here. And as for here, we're not going to see anything since we're just going to cut right here. So I think you can just join this line. There's nothing that we're going to see. We're going to see nothing. It's only just going to be a hidden detail. Okay, I'm going to elongate these lines. So I'm not going to see anything here. Just going to be the construction lines. Okay, like this. Okay, so this is what needs to happen. Join these two lines and okay. Now what? We need to put our bolts. I need to put this bolt. Okay, so I'm going to measure a distance of 13 from here to here. It's going to be 13, and from here to here it's going to be 30. Okay, so yes, for 30 we've already measured 30. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to measure a height of 13. So this is the 13, the height of our end bolt, and 13 is right here. That is the total height. Okay, now I'm going to take my compass. So taking my compass, what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure 30 from this point, and 30 is right here. After doing that, I'm going to send a 30, and I'm going to construct a circle like this one. Remember, it's going to fit directly, so there's no gap, since its length is also 30. And I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to measure 30 from this point, and I'm going to draw a semicircle. Okay, so this is on. This one's going to be in hidden detail. Okay, and now what we need to do, so say this is 70, so let's take our ruler. I want to finish drawing this thing. Okay, like this. And so from this point we're going to measure. So this is our nut, this is the end of our nut, and this is also the end of our nut. Okay, so I'm going to go at the center and measure 30 from each side. So going to measure 30 here and 30 here. After doing that, I'm going to take my 30 degrees set square. Okay, we've already measured 18. We're going to use 18 as our center. We're going to open our canvas, distance of 25. Okay, like this. Okay, now what do we need to do? Okay, we can outline here, and we can also line here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my bush bearing. So this is my bush bearing. I'm going to put it right here. So I'm going to construct another circle, which is a radius of 25, which is the circle of the width of my bush bearing. Okay, some may be confused here that the bush bearing is a diameter of 60. No, our bearing is right here. This one is just the outer way. Okay, so that our bush bearing will not slip. So this is going to hold the bush bearing. This is the end point. But the total diameter of our bush bearing is from here to here. 18 from here to here. So this leg is going to fit right here, and the distance from here to here, it's 18. Okay, and after that we're going to draw this and this. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw it. Okay, so what we're going to do, what is the height? So the height is 10 from here to here. So we've measured 10 from this point. Okay, so now let's measure 10 from this point to this point. Okay, so this is our 10. Okay, and we're going to draw this one. Okay, so this is going to be our bolt. So I'm going to draw 10 here, and this one is going to be our bolt. By here is going to be in an outline, since it's now okay. It's going to be hidden still right here. Okay, I'm going to have something like this. So starting from this point is going to be hidden detail. Now for this circle, the radius of 25, which is going to clip on the bearing, or already have it. We're now concerned about this circle, which has a radius of 40. So we're going to take our canvas, pin a canvas with a distance of 40. Okay, standing right here. I want to construct a circle. Okay, so that is the circle. So the circle that I constructed is this one, which is a radius of 40. So that means our nut. So this is going to be our nut. Okay, now what is going to happen? I'm going to join this point and this point like this. Okay, we have a hole which is a radius of 8, so we're going to measure 4 on both sides, 4 here and 4 here, and we need them. We're going to need it right here and right here. Okay, then after this, what we need to do, let's outline here, and we need to put the nut right here. Okay, so for the nut, we don't have a washer, but you should know that each and every, okay, we don't have a washer here. So what we're going to do, just going to put our nut. So for our nut, what is the total height? So it's an M18. So M18 times 0.7, that's going to give us 12. So the height of our nut is going to be 12. This is going to be height of our nut. So let's just construct 12 here and also 12 here. And what is the width of our nut? 1,5 times 18. I think that's going to give us 27. So I'm not going to draw the hexagon, but I'm going to say 27 divided by 2. That is going to give us almost 14. So I'm going to measure 14, which is actually 13,5. So I'm going to measure 13,5. 13,5 on both sides, 13,5 here and 27 here. Okay, like this. I'm going to construct those lines upwards and this line upwards. Okay, and I'm going to do the same here. Say 13,5 and the 27 here. So this is 13,5. So that's going to take a set square and project it upwards. Okay, like this. Okay, so now we've said the distance from here to here is 13,5, and same from here to here, it's also 13,5. So now I want to divide 13,5 divided by 2, and let's just measure 7 on this end, and I'm going to measure 7 right here, and I'm going to project these lines upwards. Okay, and now if you are being confused, this is the, let me just allocate, this is the line of my nut, and this is the line of my nut, this is the line of my nut, this is the line of my nut. Okay, now check your set square, and from this point, going to draw a line like this one, and from this point to this point, going to draw a line like this one. Take your canvas, sending right here. Now what is the height of our nut? Okay, so I said it's 12, and 12 is right here, standing on top, right? We're just going to construct a curve. Okay, And after doing that, we're going to take a 60-degree set square again. Now from this edge, okay, where nut is starting, we're going to do this, and from this edge where nut is starting, we're going to do this, and the point where the line is drawn meets the line of drawn this direction, that's going to be the center point, standing right there. You're going to put your pencil on top. After that, you're going to draw something which look like this. Okay, this one. Now we're going to outline. Okay. Okay, you also need to draw this. And so we're given that the height of our nut is going to be 90, starting from this point. So it's going to be 90. Okay, so I'm going to measure 90 up to here, and 90 is right here. Okay, so this is the end of our nut. So I'm going to say 0.1 times 18, and that's going to give us 1.8. So I'm going to measure 2 millimeter from the apex of our nut. I'm going to draw something like this one, and after that you take a 45-degree set square. You should join those two ends together like this one, and like this one. Okay, after that you're just going to project them downwards. Okay, now you take your outline pencil, and you're going to project it like this one. Okay, so and we have to join this and this. Now we're moving on to this nut. So it's going to be visible, it's not going to be in outline, so you have to draw it since it's not visible. So what have we said? You have divided. I'm going to divide 13 divided by 2, and you said it's almost 7. So I'm going to measure 7 on this end, which is right here, and 7 on this end, which is right here. So that we're going to project those 2 points upwards and upwards. If you are confused, just try to highlight them like this one. Now take your 60-degree set square, and we're going to, after that you now have the center point. Go to the apex of your nut, which is here. You're going to draw a curve like this one. Take your canvas where nut is starting, right here, starting here. Okay, and we're going to use this as our center point. You put it on the eye, on the apex of your nut. Do the same here. Okay, and we're going to outline here. Okay, and going to join these 2 points, this one and this one, and this is going to be the nut. And we're going to also need okay. And the 50, so this is 25 the radius of our bush bearing, but we have an inner circle which is a radius of 20, like this one, and we're going to draw a circle like this one. And after drawing that circle, we're going to divide that by 2. So the distance from here to here, it's 5 millimeters. Okay, from here to here, it's 5 millimeters. So we have to draw, we open a compass at a distance of 20 minus 5. That's going to be 15. And we're going to draw another circle. Okay, then we have this box. Okay, so this box, I think it's just drawing it on the top, so I'm just going to project it right here and project it right here. Okay, like this. And now what we need to do, remember we're just sectioning this right half, so I want to section that right half, but we have to make some outlines right here. So it's going to be right, so starting from the center, and we're not going to see anything right there. Okay, so let's start to section. Going to section here like this, and I'm going to section right here. And we're going to section. Okay, and we need to section our bush bearing. Okay, so you have to draw something like this, and like I've said, sectioning bush bearing and washers is different. So I'm going to use my 60-degree set square, section the bush bearing. I can cross it. Okay, so I'm going to use my 60-degree, and we're only going to section the bottom half. Okay, okay, so one can also section it like this. Okay, then this line shouldn't be here. Why? Because we didn't open anything here. Now what we need to do is to draw the plan. Okay, so now drawing the plan, it's just a plan, it's not a section plan. So I'm going to leave this distance. What is the width of my plan from here to here? Okay, it's going to be the radius of this circle, so that is going to be 60. So I'm going to measure 30 first and 60. Remember, 30 is our midpoint. Okay, I think we have most of the lines which we have projected from the plan. Okay, so we've said, say from here to here it's 100, right? Okay, but what we need to do, we're going to project this line. So you say this one is already projected. Now we're going to project this line. This one, going to need it. And this one, also going to need it. Okay. So that you won't get confused, since we need the wall box, I'm going to outline it. So if you are still liking my videos, just go and subscribe. Subscribing is free. Just click on the subscribe button and click on the notification bell and turn it on so that you don't miss our next videos. This is a channel where you find most of the stuff which you can find on the internet. So now I'm going to need this line and this line. These are the two lines. Okay, and we're going to see there's going to be a line, so that is the line, this one and this one. Of course, we have this circle on top right here. We're going to see it. And what is the radius of that circle? The radius of that circle is 4, since the diameter is 8. Okay, coming right here. and what? Okay, so we need the centers of our bulbs, of our bolts, and we already have these centers. And from this point, 1, 2, then a compass radius of 30. Okay, so since this is just a 30, I'm going to use this to measure 30. Okay, so this is the center of our bolts. So we need to draw this curve. So from one end to another, we're going to draw. So it goes like this one. We're going to do the same here. Okay, like this one. And this radius, this circle is a radius of 15. So it's the diameter. So that means the radius 7,5. So standing right here, that circle is going to be visible. Okay, and it's going to be also visible here. Okay, now what else do we have? Okay guys, this was our plan before. Okay, so the other thing, we have to add on the nuts. Okay, we have to draw a box right here on the nut right here. Okay, we have to. So what we're going to, let's say on top, we're going to see, first of all, we're going to see this bolt, and we're also going to see this nut. Okay, so we have to show that on plan, since we're not drawing the assembled plan. Okay, so now for the nut, what is going to happen to draw the nut? So this is an M18 nut, and we have said that the width is 27, right? Okay, so that's the size of 30. So let's just use 30. Okay, and we're going to measure 15 here. Going to have something like this. So this is our square, and you have to draw a circle inside here, so that we'll be able to draw our nut. Which is a radius of 30, radius of 15, sorry. Okay, now what? You're going to take your 60-degree set square, and we're going to draw our nut. You know that our nut is an hexagonal nut. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do the same here. I'm sure you can all agree that the nut is a hexagonal shape like this one. Okay. Okay, like this, but we have to draw. Okay, but if you look at this nut, we also have an inner circle. Okay, so what is the inner circle? Since in M18, that is going to be 9. So going to draw a circle of radius 9. Right here, and do the same. And do the same here. And I think we have drawn our plan, but we need to outline it. Okay, so you should also know that this is a square. I'm going to outline. Okay, and we need to outline our nut. Okay, and we have to draw the center lines. In the center line here. And need to draw the square. Okay, now what we need to give 8 important dimensions. So first of all, obviously the length is one of the important dimensions. The total length of our total length of our diagram. And what is that length? Is 250. And also you have to put the height. It's one of the important dimensions. Okay, so now I'm putting what is the total height? So we have to show that from here to here, which is 70, and from here to here, going to 70 plus 10 plus 18, that's going to be 88 plus 98. Okay, so let's start with that. Okay, from here and from here to here. Okay, now we need to dimension right here. Okay, so from here to here, it's 70. So we're going to say 40 minus the distance minus 18. That is going to give us 22. So we have 22 right here. Okay, we didn't dimension the width of our plumber block. Is one of the important. So this is the width. What is the width? And the width is from here to here, it's 60. 60. And we have the distance 100 from here to here. It's also one of the important. And this is 100 from here to here. It's also 100. Then the height of this slab, you also need to know the height of this slab. And that is 20. And of course, our nut, the size of the nuts which we used, is going to put this one, and we need, so these are the M18 nuts. Okay, and I think we're done. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.